let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go! 6! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you with us as we roll on until 8 o'clock this morning, trying to bring you a smile to your day. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much for dialing us in. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and, of course, leave your comments in the comments section. You can follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and now, thanks to our social media manager, Justin Miller, TikTok. We're TikTokers. Yeah! TikTok.
There we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, we're cool now, Travis.
Is that what it is?
Hey there, cool kids.
Man, we're really, really cool. Breaking news this morning. I just saw this because I'm watching the news right now. Dick Cheney dead at 84.
Oh, really?
Yeah, former Vice President of the United States, former, I believe, Defense Secretary Dick Cheney, dead at 84.
Wow, how about that?
Most polarizing politician of our generation.
Oh boy!
And I don't want the
really
chat to turn into a bash Dick Cheney type thing. The guy's dead, right? And I totally understand why people don't agree with him politically. But yeah, I'm just sitting there going, I just literally popped up, 84 years old. Dead.
I mean, I bet if we thought it did, I bet if we thought about it, we could come up with some other names that fit into that. But I think that's he was a polarizing guy, man. A lot of people hated that guy. There was a lot of conspiracy theories around Dick Cheney.
I will say this, of my lifetime, and I was born in 1970, so I remember the Ford administration, I remember the Carter administration, I remember the Reagan administration, the Bush administration, I remember all the administrations. Of all those administrations, probably the most influential, not in a good way or bad way, probably more of a bad way, probably the most influential vice president I've ever seen. And most time, vice president is
You're
exactly
right
that.
Yeah, he wielded a little bit more authority than every other vice president combined.
Yes.
Because, dude, my first vice president I remember is Dan Quayle.
That's your first one, really?
That's the first one I can, I'm conscious during that time. And I can't believe I can't even come up with this in my head. Oh, duh, it was George Bush.
George Bush.
Who was Ronald Reagan's vice president?
It was George Bush.
Who was Jimmy Carter's?
Walter Mondale.
That's okay. All right, I could come up with that. That was somewhere in my brain as well.
And I remember Ford being president because my first election that I remember was 1976 between Carter and Ford. But but Ford ascended to the presidency in a really weird way, right? Yeah. Because that was coming off the Nixon administration. I don't remember who the vice president was for Ford. How bad is it? I mean, remembering vice presidents is probably like remembering who finished runner-up in the NCAA basketball tournament. You just don't remember.
You know what it's kind of like, Travis? It's kind of like knowing capitals.
Kind of.
It's kind of like knowing state capitals. When you were a kid, we all had to do that thing where we knew the state capitals. Did you ever have to know all the presidents?
I think we did, but I wasn't very good at it, right? Because it was just, to remember that many was just hard for me to put them in order. Now, if you said a name, I'd go, oh, he was the president of the United States. If you told me what number he was, there's no way I could do that.
Yeah.
No, just no way I could do that.
Yeah. So there was a time, 8th grade, I had Greg Holland. A lot of people will know that name. He's a legend at North High School. The guy has been a wrestling and football coach at North for 50 years, man. He was my 8th grade government and U.S. history teacher. Maybe the best teacher, one of the best teachers I ever had. I hate to put that thing on it because that knocks the other teachers down. He was fantastic. And he got my buddies and I to not only memorize all of the presidents, But at one point in time, between my friends and I, we could name every World Series champion.
Wow, that's impressive.
That was because of Mr. Holland. Mr. Holland could do it off the top of his dome.
But you know what? There's something with useless knowledge that isn't useless, right? And George Sorensen was my history teacher. And a lot of people didn't like the way he taught because it was more memorization than anything. But instead of like an analysis and critical thinking of world history and national history, but the fact that he taught memorization of history means I have a pretty good concept of at least what that was, and I can talk about it. Now, he didn't ask us to do a critical thinking of it. Where I think most history teachers fail, and maybe George helped out with this, but I really didn't appreciate it until I went to the World War II Museum in New Orleans. You know, if people talk about World War II, most people think Germany and the Nazis, Normandy, that was it. I mean, it was a big part of it. But when you get to the World War II Museum and you understand the conflict in the Pacific, oh my God. I mean, the Pacific was just as vicious, just as bad as the European front. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, you're going to see a lot of hate on Dick Cheney today on the socials. You're going to see a lot of stuff. Ironic that it falls on voting day, right? I mean,
it's an election day.
It's an election day.
Yeah, yep. First Tuesday of November, and I think he actually passed away yesterday.
Was it last night? Did they just announce it?
Because when I Googled it, it popped up, died November 3rd, 2025.
So I wonder if they just announced it because I've been watching the news all morning. They hadn't mentioned it. Then all of a sudden it was like breaking news: Dick Cheney dead at 84.
It's funny. Even the AP News calls him, Travis, both of those things that you said. The AP News headline is Dick Cheney, one of the most powerful and polarizing vice presidents in U.S. history, dies at age 84.
So my analysis of that was correct. If the AP says it,
born in.
Well, he represented the state of Wyoming. I'm going to guess he wasn't born in Wyoming.
Born in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Really? I did not know that.
Neither did I.
Huh. Wow. Speaking of people dying, and this we're going to transition into a conversation we were having before we went on the air. And yes, we'll get to the opening day of college basketball. Just hold on there because I mean there were some easy wins there last night. Yeah. But Victor Conte died at the age of 75.
Yeah, I saw that this morning as well. BALCO guy.
The BALCO guy. So he was the guy who developed the clear and the cream, got Barry Bonds involved. Where does Victor Conte go down in the history of sports, especially baseball? Because there's probably a generation right now, if you and I said Victor Conte, people would go, who the hell's Victor Conte? And we were talking before we went on the air. I go, is he just a footnote? Is he just a footnote in everything?
I wonder how many people will remember that name even. Or do you remember Victor Conte, or do you remember the name BALCO?
I remember the name BALCO. If you say BALCO, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're kind of synonymous for me. As soon as I saw that Victor Conte died, he was 75. I instantly think of the steroid scandal and Barry Bonds and the Olympic stuff, and he's the guy that came up with the undetectable steroids that Giambi was using. Who were some of the other people that were involved with BALCO? Do you remember? Marion Jones was the big one. Remember her? She was the Olympic athlete that was a superstar athlete and fell from grace because of steroids.
I was surprised he was 75. For some reason, when this all broke, I thought, well, these are just, trainers, people our own age who are developing these super powerful drugs that are helping people reach limits they've never reached before. But 75 years old will be a footnote in history. BALCO probably more popular than Victor Conte, and then Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is the poster child of BALCO, though, right? Yeah. Even though Marion Jones, Barry Bonds is it.
Yeah. Burger McChick writes in. He says, he's the guy that increased the size of Barry Bonds' head. His head grew bigger than the Grinch's heart. Dude from Iowa's having a good morning. Like that. Condolences to our friend S. Williams. He wrote in and said that he lost had a friend pass away yesterday as well. So, man, day of mourning
death.
along the right. So
Damn.
sorry about that, S. Williams. Sorry, glad you're here with us, buddy, and hope we can lift your spirits up a little bit today.
Yesterday I brought up World Series Game 7, and Ross, the numbers came in. 26 million people watched Game 7 of the World Series.
Nice.
26 million people. The most watched Major League Baseball game since 2017. The most watched Saturday Major League Baseball game since 1996.
Wow. 29 years.
And to put this in perspective, more than the most watched college football Saturday game since the 1994 Orange Bowl. I mean, so those are big, big numbers for Major League Baseball that they have to be ecstatic about. And you had L.A., and I think there was that drama that led up to it. What impresses me, it was a night game. You had college football going on. There were many other options out there, but still to draw 26 million people is outstanding for Major League Baseball.
That is great. I told you yesterday, I'm like, I don't really care what the number is. I just feel like there's something happening. There's a resurgence happening. There are people talking about baseball. There are people enjoying baseball again. I enjoyed the World Series a lot after not really having that love of baseball get stoked all year long. All year, I didn't have that passion and fire light up inside of me. Man, watching the World Series, it was like, yeah, this is the game I remember loving. That is terrific news for baseball, and probably, Travis, had a lot to do with L.A. I would like to say both, you know what I mean? But you had that true underdog story. You had a team that was really easy to root for in the Toronto Blue Jays. And then, of course, the huge market of L.A. Yeah, very cool. That's an impressive number, man.
It is. It is.
Nice. So, did you say the first Saturday World Series game since 96 or just Saturday game?
Most watched Saturday Major League Baseball game since 1996. Most watched Major League Baseball game since 2017.
What was there something special in 2017?
I have no idea.
Did that data say what those games were by chance?
It did not.
Okay.
It did not.
I'm just curious.
Let me correct that. So here's the data point that I missed on. Most watched Game 7 of the World Series since 2017, but most watched Major League Baseball game since 1996.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah,
that's
cool
great
stuff.
to hear.
So Major League Baseball has announced its finalists for the Cy Young Awards, the MVP Awards, the Manager of the Year Awards, the Rookie of the Year Awards. And I want to have this conversation because I'm a little confused, and I think it's time to change. I know baseball likes to hold on to its history, likes to hold on to its traditions. Totally understand that. But is it time to stop the separation of the AL and the NL? Because should Major League Baseball... There is zero difference whatsoever in Major League Baseball now. It used to be when you didn't have interleague play, it made a lot of sense because you literally played in two different leagues. Now, there's so much interleague play that there's blurred lines between them both, and I don't even know if most people recognize the American League and National League. They all play by the same rules now. So is it time to get rid? Because now you have two managers of the year, you have two MVPs, you have separate Cy Young Award winners. To me, it makes absolutely zero sense. Now, you're more of a baseball guy than I am, but I sit there and go, why are we doing this?
Man, my knee-jerk reaction is, no, keep it the way it is. But that's just me resisting. That's just that human instinct of change is bad.
And what surprises me about that with you is you are a proponent of change when it comes to the other things that have happened in Major League Baseball.
It takes a minute. It takes a beat for your brain to realize, no, I'm just reacting. I need to think about this. And when I start to think about it, I instantly am like, well, that does make sense. I mean, there's no difference anymore. There used to be a clear, distinct difference between the National League and the American League. You know, Travis, could you do it? Could you do it? man, I want to have my cake and eat it too here, okay? Could I have 3? Could we do an American League and a National League, and then one of them is selected as Major League Baseball's Rookie of the Year? Almost like we have a World Series, almost like you have a Super Bowl where two different groups come together and then we crown one champion. Would you be okay if we did the thing where we said, all right, the American League Cy Young Award winner is this guy, the National League Cy Young Award winner is this guy, but of the two of them, the Major League Baseball, would that make a difference at all?
To me, it sounds like a participation trophy. Is that okay? It's like okay, you're the National League Cy Young Award winner, but you're not the Major League Baseball Cy Young Award. So we're going to give you a nice little blue ribbon for participating. You could do it. I think it waters it down a little bit.
Doesn't Jay says, what's the difference between the NFC and the AFC? They do that in football, don't they? Don't they still do?
I believe so. I'm talking out of my ass right now, but I believe.
But there's only one MVP.
There's only one MVP. I believe the NBA only has one MVP. I believe the NHL only has one MVP.
You're right. You're nailing it. They do. But is there a conference player of the year that we don't give a crap about because there is a league-wide MVP? Man, as this is bouncing around my head, I like this idea. I think that I'd be okay with it being one Rookie of the Year, one Cy Young Award winner. And maybe, again, participation trophy is such a good way to put it, because I was going to say, I'd be okay with the Silver Slugger and Gold Gloves still going to a lot of guys. Why? Why not have it be one in each one? Interesting, dude. I'm glad you brought that up. I want to have that bang around my brain for a little while, but not something I hate.
Yeah, I mean, there may be some pushback from players and stuff like that, because I'm sure there's awards and bonuses and all sorts of stuff that's tacked onto that. But from a fan perspective, there's really no difference between the two. I've said this. Maybe Major League Baseball needs to get rid of the American and National League and just go to, like, divisions based on geography and shuffle the deck again and get things more in a geographical area and separate that, right? Do you really need an American League? Do you need a National League? Now, you're going to say, well, the football has the AFC and the NFC, the NBA has the Western and Eastern Conference, and I get that. So I guess you can keep the names, but it doesn't really matter what league you're in.
But all those things are just now designed, Travis, to help us divide it up for playoffs and things like that. It just clears up the clutter. Well, sometimes it clears up the clutter when we get into postseason positioning. But
true. Different approach. But because I was going through all the finalists, and you're going through the manager of the year. Okay, we're gonna have 2 managers of the year. Okay. I mean, who's the MVP? It's Shohei Ohtani. There's no, you can call it, and the fact that he has to share that award with another human being, it's like, okay, if you're the American League National or MVP, you're like, okay, I guess I'm the MVP, but we all know that it's Shohei Ohtani in the National League. I mean, it's because Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball, best player maybe we've ever seen in our lifetime.
Not maybe. There's no maybe about it. I mean, maybe the greatest baseball player of all time. That's the only maybe about it. Oh, interesting, Trav. That's a really good question. What purpose do those two things still serve? It's kind of like I see somebody. Mike wrote this. It's like legends and leaders in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
what you got? That was stupid. And when they did that, we were all like, "Well, this is dumb." I still don't even know which one the Hawkeyes were in. I don't even know what they named the conference my favorite team was in because it was so dumb. It was the week 0 of college football conference names.
What should go away in sports? Week 0 should go away, right? I mean, if you're playing, that's week number 1.
It's one of those things. It's not even a thing. When you say should it go away, I say no, it shouldn't go away because it never existed. People say it, but it never actually existed. Whenever somebody says it, I go, oh, that's stupid. That's really stupid.
Is there anything in football that needs to go away, like the NFL?
The chains.
The term line to gain is something that should go away. Sometimes we just can't get out of our own ways and stuff. It's like, can you talk to normal people before you make these changes? Can you just come talk to the normal sports fan for their interpretation? Jerry Jones should go away.
Oh, we're going to talk about people that should go away. In
Jerry
sports.
Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, who lost again on Monday Night Football. Ross, I'm going to give it till Friday. I'm going to give it till Friday for YouTube TV and ESPN to figure this shit out.
I just saw something this morning that they're getting that I swore I saw that the YouTube TV had said, "Hey, we're going to go with whatever Disney had asked for." Am I again? Not
I haven't seen that. If that's the case, that's good news and it's bad news, because whatever Disney asked for is going to mean a rate increase. I'm already paying like $89 a month, and you got to believe that when the next rate increase comes in, that the consumer that cost is passed along to the consumer. I've said it before. I'm hesitant to change, and I could have just upped and got rid of YouTube TV last week when this all went down. I didn't, but I tell you what, I didn't realize how much I liked ESPN until it went away, because that would be my more. Now I'm stuck watching local news. Do you know how bad local news sucks? I mean, it's really bad. It's awful. It's awful. It is horrendously bad. And I turn it on, and my only option in the morning is like the NFL Today on the NFL channel, and I'm like, can I get ESPN, please? Because even Fox Sports doesn't have a news program like that in the morning just to keep you up to date and keep you informed.
Can we talk about a local news story here for just a minute? Because I had this conversation yesterday with some guys, and they were like, why? Like, I get that this is sensational, but man, is it news? So we had this thing happen in Des Moines, Trav, you might not be aware of, and I'm going to tell you right now before we get to it, it's sensational. It is something that is going to turn up your nose, okay? Have you seen any of this stuff on social media about the guy that showed up at a Halloween party this weekend at a bar in Des Moines dressed like Hitler?
No, I saw the
dude in
the
like
only one
full
really
full gear. Had the mustache, had the haircut, was wearing the full uniform, had the SS necklace on. He's walking around doing the salute, and people are doing pictures with him at the bar, like smiling and laughing, and people, I mean, rightfully so, people were snapping photos of it also and being like, and posting it on social media, like, hey, some asshole showed up here, like, and the guy has since it's kind of a crazy story. It really is, because it turned out that what happens when stuff like that gets on social media. People instantly are like, I want to go find out who this guy is, and
dox him.
And yeah, basically. And they did. They found out right away. The guy was actually a volunteer hockey coach at Drake. They fired him. They removed him from the team right away. People started posting online, hey, here's the guy's business. Now, here's the crazy part about the business thing. And I don't even want to misstate it, okay? All I can say for sure, I'm not looking the story up right now, and maybe somebody in the chat will know. His business was called like D3 something, and I almost apologize that I just said that. I really should get it right here, okay? Can you give me 1 minute?
I can give you 1 minute. I mean, is it the point of Halloween to dress up as something scary? I'm not condoning this, by the way.
And listen, I think that's a fair thing. Oh, okay. Jay says he didn't coach at Drake. I saw that, and the people are already commenting. I saw that, Jay. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it. Here's part of the problem, Trav. If you're looking at the chat, you'll see There are different names for his.
Oh, for the company.
Okay,
so it could have been a franchise.
The hockey coach was apparently a female that posed with him, and I'm just reading off the chat here, guys. So I apologize if some of this stuff is wrong about that. They found out the name of his company, okay, and it had a certain name on it. It started with that D3 thing that people. But here's the deal: there's like 4 companies in Central Iowa that start with that.
Oh.
There's like a D3 construction and a D3 contractor and a D3 flooring and a D3. And so now all of them are getting this hate and blowback. And I saw a guy yesterday posting a thing say, hey, this isn't me. This is not me. That you guys are doxing the wrong company. It is turned into a wild story. But there was a part of me that, again, it's a social media story, okay? And it's getting clicks, and
Yep.
people are getting fired up about it. So what happens in 2025, what happens with that? The local news grabs onto it.
Because they can't think for themselves.
And they know, dude, all they want is clicks. All they want is your click. That's it. They don't dude, this is why having salespeople as general managers of media outlets is a horrible idea. Because all they care about are the clicks and how we can sell it.
It's funny that you say that. It's funny that you say that because I've never seen this before. Of course, I live in Omaha. The Omaha World Herald this morning on Facebook had a headline of a story, said, here's today's most clicked story.
Yes.
They're saying
news.
That's the news.
All they want is your click. It's wild, dude. Like, I noticed that when I went to that first bond referendum meeting, okay, and I'm standing there, and all of the news stations were there. And I think I told you this. I don't know if we talked about this on the air. Afterwards, every news station, because I was one of the few, I stood up and I asked some questions, and they kind of figured out by my questions that, oh, this guy's opposed to the bond referendum right now. So they all came over to interview me and say, hey, we're looking for somebody that will go on camera and express why they're saying no. I said, yeah, I will do that. Both of the news stations, the only question that they really asked me was about Ian Roberts. It wasn't about the bond referendum. It wasn't about my vote. It wasn't about my opinions, my experience, where I was coming from it was, what do you think about Ian Roberts? And the first one did it, and I was like, okay, and I kind of moved on. It wasn't until the second news station did the exact same thing that it clicked with me, like, that's why they're here. That's why they're here. It's not for the community. It's not to educate people. It's not to help people become informed. They want clicks. They want to have a headline that says something Ian Roberts. If you can get Ian Roberts in the headline, it's going to get clicks.
It's going to get clicks.
If you put bond referendum on there, you're going to get 20 clicks. But if we can shoehorn him into the story, man, that's what we really need. We don't need to educate people. We don't need to inform them. We need their click. So that way we can go to our businesses and say, hey, look, we got clicks. What's the most clicked story? Dude, we're lost. We're lost.
How about this? This is where I had to roll my eyes here. There's a news anchor in Des Moines. I won't give her name, but she, on social media, showed her getting her new headshot, right? Uh-huh. She goes, new headshot coming. One of the most fun parts about being on TV. And I'm like, really? Really? Your headshot
what that should really show is it's not very fun to be on TV.
100%. 515-517-2303. Let's go to the phones. Who's this?
Coach Urson.
Hey, Coach. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on?
I've been on hold for a while. You guys have already thrown me into like 5 different things that I think I need to say. I'm going to skip Hitler because I don't need to talk about that, and the ESPN thing because they're the Nazi party, so that I'll skip that too. Let's go to down to Dick Cheney.
Well, you have been on hold for a while.
You said, one of the most. No, I know. Yeah, and Dick Cheney is probably one of the most polarizing people in the world. But here's what's weird about him, and I've got another thing. I got a sidebar, but all of a sudden sudden, Dick Cheney is kind of almost embraced by the left because he's anti-Trump.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I mean, those people just have to be butting their heads against the wall because they're like, okay, this is a war criminal. He did all of this stuff in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he's a war criminal, but he doesn't like Trump, so we love him. Which that's a paradox in its own side.
What a great word for it. He is a great example of how we've lost critical thinking skills. This is a great call, Coach Hersom. He's a great example of how that thing I talk about a lot, and I talk about it with my kids all the time, man. We are in this world of dichotomy, this world where you've got to pick between good and bad all the time. Everything is either 100% good or 100% bad. Instead of everybody backing away and going, oh, there's nuance. There's some good. There's some bad. In my mind, I weigh these two things, and this one is heavier than the other. So if I have to pick, he's on the bad side of good, or he's on the good side of bad. But we live in this world where you've got to decide, is the person merit-worthy or not? Is the person worthy of your kind, considerate love or not? And Dick Cheney's a great example of it because he not only is a war criminal and George W. Bush's vice president and extremely polarizing politician, he also hated Donald Trump and had a gay daughter. And so there is this weird thing that happens where people are like, oh, God, I want to love him. I want to hate him. I want to love him. I want to hate him. And we're stuck in this world, and I see it all the time on the chat where it's like, well, it's either great or bad. I would even say this DMPS thing. I've tried to several times say this about the DMPS thing. The truth is in the middle. The truth is in the middle, and you've got to have some critical thinking skills to assess both sides of an issue and both sides of a person and then come to your conclusion. But if you start from, well, what's that little letter at the back of his name? Is it an R? Because I hate all R's. Or is it a D? Because I hate the Dummycrats. If you start from that position, you can't ever find the middle. You can't. And then when things happen where it's like, oh, wait, he hates Donald Trump like I do? Oh, God, wait, my brain's going to explode. Or you just decide, oh, okay, well, I still hate the guy. It's weird.
100%.
We live in a really scary world.
We do. So here's the point of the call. Here's your history lesson. The 25th Amendment. 7 times in the history of our country, there was no vice president because the president died and the vice president was elevated to the president, but there was no vice president. After JFK, they passed the 25th Amendment, which is the Presidential Succession Act, and it talks about all that stuff. So during the Nixon administration, Spiro T. Agnew resigns, meaning there's no vice president because he knows Nixon's gone. So Gerald Ford is appointed the new vice president. Nixon resigns, making Gerald Ford the new president. Gerald Ford appoints Nelson Rockefeller as his vice president, making Gerald Ford the only person that has been vice president and never elected to either position.
Never had his name on one of those ballots.
Yes.
That's crazy.
All right, Coach. Thanks, man.
Coach.
Good history lesson.
There you go. Have a good one, guys.
515-517-2303 is the number to call. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you with us on a Tuesday. Good start. Boy, we went a long time, which is perfectly okay. We'll be back after this quick timeout and continue the conversation on the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
November's here, and that means Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And here at Willis, we are thankful for you, our guests, for entrusting us with your vehicle and service needs. The holiday season means travel, and that means extra miles on your car that can cause wear and tear. Save that for your pants after all that turkey. And while we can't fix your slacks, we can make sure your car's in tip-top shape. So come on down to Willis for 10% off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Are you ready to take the next big step in your love story? We've got tons of stunning new engagement ring styles in stock. Whether you're drawn to timeless classics or modern sparkle, there's something here that'll take your breath away. Dreaming of a one-of-a-kind ring? You won't find a better team to help bring it to life. Our custom design experts are here to walk you through every step, making sure your vision shines through in every detail. Come see us in Ankeny. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Don't forget, for your final chance to win tickets to an Iowa Hawkeye football game from the Iowa Lottery is almost here. Enter non-winning Iowa Blackout scratch tickets into your VIP club account via the second chance promotion before 10 a.m. on November 5th. That's tomorrow for your chance to win tickets to the game against Michigan State on November 22nd. You could win 4 stadium seats, a parking pass, Hawkeye merchandise, and $250 in spending money. See iowalottery.com for details and to get entered. Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. He's dancing. He's got the dance moves going.
I like the music.
Thanks.
Yeah. The one that I like was the best, that little French horn. I guess it's called a tenor sax, but
I don't know what button that. Here, let me see. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
All right.
Give me little buttons to play with, and I'll play with them.
Baby.
That's
Give
right.
me the button. Let me press the buttons.
I had to go up and take a leak during the break, right? And I rush into the bathroom. My wife's still in bed. I'm like, God, I'm sorry. I turn the light on. I come rushing in. I turn the light on like I'm dancing. And I go, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to be upstairs. She goes, there's no school today. I forgot. They canceled school today, Ross, or postponed school because it's voting day. There's no votes here where I'm at. 0 votes. But
then why did they cancel school?
Because I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
It's maybe it's the politically correct thing to do. I have no idea. But we're not going to the ballot box.
Listen,
today.
real quick, I will tell. I do this every year on voting day, and I apologize for folks that have heard me say this 100 times or more. If you do not know, do not go. This push that we have for everybody should vote or die. Vote or die. And remember all those people on MTV that ended up not voting when they told you vote or die? If you don't know what you're going to, don't go. Don't go. You're surviving every day without paying attention anyway. Don't go and put your finger on the lever. Don't go and put your finger on the scale and go, well, hey, listen, I don't know. I know I don't know anything, but I really was told as a kid that this party's the best party, so I'm going to vote. You're part of the problem. If you're going and you're voting for stuff that you have no idea about, you're part of the problem.
I will say this.
So first of all, educate yourself about the positions, educate yourself about the candidates, and then go and vote. If you have not done those things, do everybody a favor, including yourself, and don't go vote. It's okay. It is okay to say, man, in fact, it's a smarter thing to do. It's a more intelligent and more societal thing to do, to say, I just haven't been paying attention. I've been working. I've been busy. I've got kids. I'm worried about other things than who these candidates are. City council elections. People will go and they have no idea who they're voting for. They'll vote for the right name. I remember I did it one time. One time. There was a lady that was running for soil and conservation officer, and her last name was Rock. I'm like, well, that's a layup. And she won.
So you did it kind of like going to the horse races at Prairie Meadows. You're like, I like that name. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Have you ever gone to the voting box fully informed on a certain issue, but maybe not another, and just skipped over?
Did not vote for president in 2016.
Really?
Did not vote for president in 2016. Couldn't bring myself to fill out a bubble for. Because, man, I'd always been an independent voter for president. Maybe my very first time I voted for George W. Bush because my first time being able to vote would have actually been just before that. I don't know. I'm kind of guessing here. But after that, dude, I was always a Ross Perot guy. Always a Ross Perot guy. And then I was just an independent voter for a long time. And I've never been a straight party ticket voter. I had a lot of people challenging me the other day because I commented, I sent a thing on Twitter to Rob Sand. And I said, man, I really wanted to support you for governor, but your stance on this voucher program makes me question that. And I had a lot of people that were like, bullshit, you never were going to vote for Rob Sand. I'm like, I already have.
Well, and that's the funny thing is, I saw those. Remember, I called you. I go, God, you're really pissing people off today,
Ross.
Ross.
Right. That was that day. See,
that was that day.
Any day you could call and say, man, you're pissing people off. And I'd go, oh, somebody's mad at me today. You're right about that.
But when I saw that, like when they said, oh, you were never going to vote for him, I'm like, oh, you don't know Ross very well.
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
don't know him at all.
I don't need people to. What that is projection, Travis. That is a classic psychological thing of projection. People see that and they go, well, I would never vote for anybody for the other party, so there's no way anybody else would ever do that. Mike says, Ross smells like a Nader guy in the 2000 election. I promise you that was the one. I was the other direction of that on the independent scale, Mike. I promise you that, buddy.
Oh, man.
So that's my take on voting today. If you don't know, don't go, and that's okay. It's okay. In fact, it's a noble, intelligent thing to do. To say, man, I didn't know who these candidates were. I didn't understand the issues completely, and I didn't have time to because it's complicated. If you know, if you're friends with one of the people on the ballot, and go support them. You know that person. You know their heart. You know what they want to do. Go support those people. If you have no idea, stay out of there.
It's pretty simple. You just don't have to go to the polling place.
And I hate this thing of, and I get, there also is this idea of, man, we're lucky to be able to vote. We're very lucky. So again, the right thing is educate yourself and then go and vote. But if you haven't done
in
step
that order,
one,
educate yourself.
Yes, if you haven't done step one, do not do step two. I think, Travis, we could solve this all. I mean it. We could solve it all. And I've thought this since I was a teenager. Ballots should be empty. They should be blank spaces. You should have to fill in the name of a person. If you don't know the name of a person that's running for a specific office, you shouldn't be able to vote. If you don't know who you're voting for city council, if you don't know who you're voting for the school board, if you don't know how you're voting, now like the bond referendum, that stuff needs to be spelled out. And in the ballot it is. It says exactly
because of
what they want to
legalese.
do, because of legal stuff, and then you get to fill out yes or no on that. That I'm okay with. But like when we go to vote for president, I really do think it should be a blank space.
Oh, that'd be a shit show, though. You know that, right?
Yep,
because
I know, and I also know that it would, you'd have to have nobody can spell, so you'd have to have an interpreter there to try to figure out what they were writing. But again, most of my ideas are kind of stupid. This is one of them, but I think that ballots should be a blank space.
Now, I know there's people that disagree with you, and there's people who are on your side. I will say this. I think most of you can agree with this. Even if you disagree with Ross, he's more educated on this bond referendum for DMPS than anybody I know. And I'm sure there's other people out there who've done the same way, take the opposite opinion. But,
they do.
But he has sat down with people on the who disagree with his opinion and have conversations about that. That's what civics is all about. That's what voting is all about.
What a great word, because man, those conversations are civil. Where it's not civil is social media. That's where it turns into name calling, and we assume the worst motives from people. Dude, I don't know what's going to happen with this, Travis, but I'm starting to get the impression that me speaking out, sharing my opinion, has affected my standing at East High School.
Really?
I think
that's
so.
Too bad.
I think so. I don't know.
What gives you that impression?
I had a lunch the other day, and the guy thanked me for all I had done.
In a past tense.
Yeah.
Talk to you in a past tense.
And he said that, and I didn't say anything at the time, but he walked out, and I was like, I think I just got removed from a committee.
But see, that's not right either, because when you have a committee, is all you want is yes people? I mean, yeah. and the committee is probably for something that I don't know anybody who's helped to promote East High School and the education you got at East more than you have. Just because you don't agree with one aspect of what the school's trying to do, or is that coming from a higher power? Is that coming from an administration that says, hey, if this guy's on any of your committees, you gotta remove him?
I don't know. We'll see. I hope that's not the case, man. I love East High. I love Des Moines Public School District. I really do. I just think that the right way to fix Des Moines Public School District right now is for serious accountability of how we got to where we are. It's not, throw money at it, we'll fix it. If we get a new building, the kids will learn better. No, we got to figure out how and why we got to where we are. And there has to be a serious accounting and accountability for how this happened. And so anyway, we'll see what happens with it. But and dude, if this thing passes, I'm not going to be heartbroken. I'm not going to be mad about it. If this thing passes, I am going to pray that it works out exactly the way that they say it's going to, and that they do exactly what they say they want to do, and that they can do it very quickly. It doesn't take 5 years for them to do all the things that they want to do with this money right now. And if it doesn't pass, I also want to be a part of a team
that can find a solution.
That can find a solution and say, all right, what does the district have to do so that in the next year or two, you could put this bond referendum back on the ballot? Because they need the money. Again, man, that truth is right in the middle of all of these talking points and all this garbage. The truth is right in the middle, and you will find yourself on one side or the other after you decide what the information is. And that's what people should do.
I think you would have voted for this if they would have said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here are our measurables. If we don't hit these, then the school board's gone.
Travis, if I could have gotten a lot of my questions answered, I would have voted for it. And I had a guy on a podcast the other night who asked me, and it made me pause and think. So give me a minute here to explain my answer. He said, if the thing wouldn't have happened with Ian Roberts, would you have supported this bond referendum? Now, initially, I wanted to say no. No, the 72% graduation rate, the forcing kids through, the no, I wouldn't have done it. But man, I sat for a minute, I thought about it, and I realized, man, I had been fooled by this guy too. And I really thought he was the right answer. I thought that he had the right stuff to fix Des Moines Public School District. That's why he was brought in. And so if I wouldn't have known what a fraud he was, I probably would have supported it. I probably would have said, yes, we got the right people in charge, hand them the money, they're going to fix this problem. But you start to realize that, like, oh, wait, this is the third straight superintendent we've had that's left under a cloud of controversy. Remember Nancy Sebring? You remember her?
I remember her.
Because of the Omaha stuff.
She when she wrote erotic emails. She was a good poet.
Using her Des Moines Public School email address, sending to some guy in Omaha, I think. Was it you?
No, it was no. Oh. I think it was the Omaha World Herald that actually broke the story.
Is that what that was?
If I'm not mistaken, but
okay.
she was I think writing somebody in like Waukee or Norwalk or somebody like that.
Yeah. John asked me if it's in your gut. Do you think it passes? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a really good question, John. The yes side of this is very well organized. They've got yard signs and T-shirts and a great website and TV commercials, and there is no organization on the no side of this. Now, I've tried to look into who supported that yes vote, and the public filings show a bunch of construction companies.
Because there's a bunch of money to be made. I mean, when you're talking $276 million. And you had called me on this. We support bond referendums after construction's a little different where I'm at, right? We don't traditionally hard bid jobs. We are a construction manager at risk. We are a service. So normally over where I'm at, school districts want to get somebody on board before they go to a bond. That way we can validate the budget because we want total validation. And I'll give an example. We were selected to build the Gretna East High School, which is a beautiful one, but they needed validation to know how much to go to the public to ask for.
Yeah. We
were within 0.5% of their bond budget, and at the end of the project, I think we gave them back like $4 million. So we actually finished under budget. But that keeps voters happy when you say, hey, this is what it is, instead of hey, we want this. Well, how do you know that's going to cost that much? Where did you get that number validated at? And
exactly the questions I asked, Travis. Those were the things that I said, hey, how'd you come up with these numbers? Was this an architect? Was this a contractor? Have you already bid the jobs? Are they all being bid as one job?
Well, you can't bid them yet because they're probably not at construction documents. And that's the point of a construction manager at risk, is that you're able to put a GMP where you are, and GMP is guaranteed maximum price, to where you build in contingency and you probably take a more conservative approach.
And they've got those contingencies built into this $265 million. They break down exactly how much money is going to be spent. So I just asked those questions. How did those numbers come about? Are you just going by square footage of repairs?
Well, that's a dangerous thing to do.
So I don't. And Travis, these are all of those questions that I just posed to you are things I can't tell you the answers to. So that again, man, I tried to find the reasons to vote yes for this thing, and I know that people don't believe that because they think that you come at things with a preconceived notion and then you stand your ground. I promise that wasn't what this was. I was trying to find reasons to say yes to it.
515-517-2303. Let's go to Brad. Brad, welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on?
I think this referendum will pass. I no longer live in Des Moines public school systems, but it seems to me like anytime you ask the people for, they always say, yes, please tax us more, and then go back and complain about how high they're taxed. Doesn't seem if it's a fuel tax, if it's property tax, it doesn't matter. If you put it up to the people to vote, more likely than not, they're going to vote to be taxed more because of the propaganda that those wanting more money have. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. And I did catch the sheeple. I like that.
Well, I mean, come on. Everyone complains about how much we're taxed, and it's an expensive country to live in. It's a great country. But every time you talk to people, they're like, we pay a lot of taxes. Even at Christmas, a lot of my money goes to taxes. And then you put it to a vote. Hey, do you want to pay 10 cents more per gallon of gasoline? Yes, please. Put in more bike paths that don't have anything to do with roads and bridges.
Because it's for the kids.
It's going to pass.
It's for the kids. And
tear jerky.
I don't know those
it's
emotions. Tug
Brad,
on those heartstrings.
I told Ross this the other day, and thanks, Brad, for the phone call. Appreciate
Brad.
it. Buy an electric car. And I said, and we were talking about licensing my car, the Defender I got from Willis Automotive. And they asked me if it was an electric car, and I said, no, it's gas powered. They're like, okay. And I said, why? Like, well, if you buy an electric car in Nebraska, you pay an extra $150 or $250 just for your plates because you're not paying a fuel tax during the year because you're not using gasoline. So if you're not paying the fuel tax, you got to pay a different tax if you have an electric car. I don't know if it's that way in Iowa, but I'm like, what's the point of getting an electric car? It's already more expensive than a normal car. Yeah. And I still got to pay for the electricity that's getting taxed in a certain way. But since I'm not paying a fuel tax, I'm going to get taxed for having an electric car. I'm like, what's my incentive to buy an electric car? I don't understand it. I don't want to pay another $250 just to have an electric car. That makes sense. Doesn't make sense at all to me. Oh, yes. So, are you a morning voter or are you an afternoon voter, Ross?
Well, I'll be, as soon as I drop that little one off, I'll go and knock that out. We have a 9:30 meeting up at the office, and got a pretty busy day in the real estate world today, working through a couple contracts. So, I'm gonna have a busy day, but it'll start. That's exactly how it'll start. Drop off the kid, head to the polling place, fill out my bubbles, and get to the office.
If you're looking for
to Brad's point really quick, they never tear down a toll booth.
That's fair. If you're looking for a local full-service jeweler in Ankeny, it's Fiscus Jewelers at 1701 Delaware Avenue, Suite 250. Custom design, one-of-a-kind pieces that fit your budget, engagement, and bridal. You got a platinum, you got 18 karat, 14 karat, all made in the good old USA, certified center stones. If you need repairs on your jewelry, sizing, stone setting, chain repair, retipping, pearl restringing, you name it, Fiscus Jewelers does it all. Start your design at fiscusjewelers.com, open Monday through Saturday. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff. You can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
November's here, and that means Thanksgiving's right around the corner. And here at Willis, we're thankful for you, our guests, for entrusting us with your vehicle and service needs. With holiday season comes travel, and all those extra miles can cause wear and tear on your car. Save that for your pants after all that turkey. While we can't fix your slacks, we sure can make sure your car's in tip-top shape. So come on down to Willis for 10% off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at willisvolvocars.com.
For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most, because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Tuesday, everybody, if you're listening on the audio stream. Anywhere in the world, anywhere in the United States, anywhere in Iowa, at therushradio.com and the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app. Thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like the video. Give some comments if you feel so inclined to do so. You can follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and now good old teenage TikTok.
Don't call it teenage. I got a lot of friends on TikTok.
Do you? Is Snapchat still a thing?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, Instagram. Yeah, I got a lot of friends on that do Snapchat. In fact, I think that's how most of my buddies, I think that's how most of my friends kind of communicate. I think if you ask my friend group what they're, and I'm not on Snapchat, so I miss out on a ton of it. But I think that's how my buddies kind of, plan stuff and communicate and share things throughout the day.
So I'm going to ask a question here of the listeners and the viewers, because and probably this is probably a bad thing to do. But I want to be honest with everybody. I don't want to surprise everybody. Ross and I are having an idea of having a holiday party. Rush into the holidays.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And we have an idea of a holiday party. But the truth is, it looks like it might have to be a paid ticketed event. I want to know, before we commit to that, exactly. Or if we want to do it the way we want to do it, or the way I envision it. Would people pay to come hang out with us on it? And it's not, and I know, and that's kind of where I'm going.
I don't want people to have to pay to come hang out
either
with
do
us.
I. Either do I. But I want it to be a party too, right? It's hard to have a party where you want to have live music and stuff because you got to pay a band, you got to pay a sound person, all that stuff. And, the venue doesn't want to, just give you the venue. So it was one of those things. I'm like, I might as well ask to see if there's a possibility for that.
If you're asking me, I mean, if I have any say in it, I'd say no.
I'm with you.
We don't want to do anything where people have to pay to come hang out with us. We ain't that special.
Tyler says, does the chat need to sponsor something? If the chat wants to sponsor it, then yeah. But it's
Ray's got 5 on it. I got 5.
I got 5.
Do you know what that? Do you know that song, Trev?
He says $5 cover or $35. It wouldn't be a $35 cover. Probably close to a $20.
Oh hell no. If you said 5, I would be like, maybe
10.
I'm with TJ. Let's just go to some place. Let's just go someplace and hang out and say, hey, we're gonna be in town. We're gonna be at this place.
Have a potluck.
When Ray says I got 5 on it, does that mean anything to you?
No.
It's a rap song. It's a rap song from the 90s. I got 5 on it.
It was yesterday I learned about this 6-7 thing. I had no idea what 6-7 was.
Don't start, please.
And my wife is like, you don't know what 6-7 is? I'm like, what are you talking about? Then she explained to me how in her classroom, 6-7, and then how your phone listens to you. I open up my phone and there's a South Park bit on 6-7, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's like, I'm like, oh. And I'm like, this is funny. Why? I'm trying to figure out why 6-7 is funny.
It's not. Yeah, dude. It's like a. Yeah, it's just a cultural thing right now. You know what I mean? It's something that the kids do. We did the exact same things. We had the exact same things when we were kids. So don't think too much of it or let it consume you. I got 5 on it as a reference to buying weed with your buddies.
Okay. Something I never did. I never bought weed with my buddies.
We know.
And the girls you met at the Valera have never bought weed with their buddies because they're like, I got money.
They were saying, I got 5 on it.
Is that what they were saying?
I mean, basically, in white girl slang that had never heard the song or know anything about it, they were basically saying, I got 5 on it.
Ross is at the Valera, and she's like pulling out her wallet going, I got money. Why doesn't anybody love me?
Because you
put it away. Put it away.
Because you a cop.
Put it away. Oh, God. Milan Milosevic had a career-high 29 points last night, 7 of 10 from behind the three-point arc, 11 of 16 from the field. Just an amazing game for Milan last night as Iowa State absolutely crushes FDU, that's Fairleigh Dickinson, 88-50. Ross, the Vegas never ceases to amaze me. Line was like 35 and a half. Win by 38. 88-50. The good news about this, I mean, it's a throwaway game, and it's a good win. The good news is Tamin Lipsey, who didn't play in any of the exhibition games, was out with the injury. Had a nice game last night, 8 of 13 from the field, just 1 of 4 from behind the arc, but had 18 points. So, I mean, Tamin Lipsey is going to be the glue of this Iowa State team. I mean, there's a lot of other support there with Momcilovic and Joshua Jefferson, but it's going to be Tamin Lipsey who kind of leads it. I mean, point guard, that's what it is. So it's good to see him back in performing the way he is.
That you're nailing it. It shouldn't take much away from these games. I mean, they did what they were supposed to do. Kind of reminds me of Iowa State in those in that game against that football team against Arizona. You're supposed to do this to team. If you're gonna be a great basketball team, this is what you're supposed to do. And those are the things to take away from some of these early non-con games. What kind of performance are you getting? You're nailing it with Lipsey. Like seeing him be a part of it is going to be a huge factor for Iowa State this year. We saw it at the end of last year. When he's out there, they're a much better team, and that's what you're looking for. Get your wins, start to pile them up, get the momentum going in the right direction. All of that good news, and yeah, to have Milan hitting like that. Dude, there's some good hype around Milan this year. There's some really good hype around him of being a guy that carries a lot of water for that team.
And Momcilovic needed that last night because I think through the first 2 exhibition games he wasn't performing that great. And this is why you can't put stock in exhibition games. They're practice games. They're scrimmages. Don't put a lot of stock in that. And we know that Milan Momcilovic has tremendous talent. And it was just a matter of time. And then, you know what? The lights go on. 13,000 people show up at Hilton Coliseum, and he delivers. And Joshua Jefferson had a double-double. He had 14 points, 10 rebounds. Big number last night, a couple big numbers. They out-rebounded FDU 41-77, and Iowa State forced 18 turnovers, scored 24 points off those turnovers as they improved to 1-0 on the young college basketball season.
Listen, you just got to make sure that you don't lose any of these games or stub your toe, have any injuries. There's just a few things to take away from these games. Win them handily, have nice performances, get a deep bench run, and get a lot of guys minutes and get a lot of guys as much experience as you possibly can. See who can perform under those bright lights. See who perform. And again, you can't even really take a lot away from that because sometimes we see guys that are great against non-conference opponents. Their skill set is right in that gray area where they're great against those non-conference opponents, but then when you see them in conference play, that it seems to fall off. And a lot of people go, what happened? He went for 20 points against Bucknell. How come he's not doing that against Kansas?
Because it's Kansas.
Say it again. Say it again slower.
It's Kansas.
My favorite line. I'm going to repeat what you just said, and you tell me if it sounds as dumb to you as it did to me.
The Eric Henderson era is underway at Drake, and I tell you what, there's a lot of unknowns with Drake, right? I mean, you're talking about its third head coach in 3 years. It's basically its third new roster in 3 years. Drake fell behind by double digits in the second half yesterday against Northern Arizona. And I'm actually texting with Justin Miller kind of during the game, and he was sweating this one out because we know his passion for Drake. But they were able to overcome a double-digit deficit, which I think talks a lot maybe because with a new roster and a new coach, how are you going to handle that? Right, you're a pretty good favorite going into it. I think 8.5-point favorite. You're down 11, down 12, something like that in the second half. How do you bounce back from that? And the fact that they didn't lose their cool, they didn't hit big shots. They ended up shooting 45%. They shot 45% from the field. Not a great three-pointing performance. 7 of 22. But yeah, I mean, the fact that you had four lead changes, the score was tied 7 times. But the fact that they were down and didn't fold, didn't panic, and were able to pull out that win, 77-71. Good start to the Eric Henderson era. But to me, just being able to face that adversity, being down, having a whole bunch of new players was the key there.
Travis, again, just like with all of these non-conference games, you have to consider the opponent in it. And this is not some low-level, they didn't play Dort. You know what I mean? They played a team from the Big Sky Conference. Is that where Northern Arizona is from? Am I right about that?
Yes.
Big Sky
that would be
Conference. Correct. They've got one other dog, and then they have played Arizona in a couple weeks. Like, this is not
Arizona beat Florida
team.
last night. Arizona beat Florida last night.
So I look at I'm with you. You look at the fact that they were down 11 in the second half. By the way, they were down 11. They had a nice lead in the first half, end up down 11 3 or 4 minutes into the second half, and then they come back and win that. So consider the opponent, consider where that game was. It's your very first game with a new coach and a new roster. I'm absolutely with you on this. That win means more for Drake than Iowa State's win does.
100%. And you look at it, and Drake was smart. Drake's got some size. They've got some size. And the key was get to the line in the second half. Now, as an opposing coach, this is going to drive you nuts. Northern Arizona in the second half was 3 of 7 from the free throw line. Drake in the second half from the free throw line was 14 of 18. So just being able to get to the line, hit your foul shots. For the game, Drake 16 of 22 from the line. Northern Arizona 7 of 12. So Drake's ability to get to the free throw line, especially in the second half, was a big reason they were able to pull out that win. Iowa's going to open up the season tonight, Ross. They're going to take on Robert Morris. Who was Robert Morris? Anybody know who Robert Morris was?
Yeah, I went to school with Robert. He
Did you?
Good guy. He was a great debater. He was on the debate team with me. Robert was being a smart ass.
I know you are, but I want to know why a guy gets a university named after him. Just the quick
James Madison.
Well, yeah, but
Brigham Young.
Well, he's a prophet, right? Is Brigham Young a prophet? In some way, I don't know. I'm not up to my Mormon.
I don't know either.
James Madison was a
I'm
president.
Let you go out there on that limb if you'd like, because I don't know.
Okay, here is Robert Morris according to Wikipedia.
Okay,
Robert Morris was a British-born American merchant, investor, and politician, and one of the founding he was one of the founding fathers of the United States. I did not know that. Morris served in the Pennsylvania legislature, the Second Continental Congress, and the United States Senate. I had no idea that Robert Morris was a founding father. So, therefore,
wow,
I understand now why he has his...
Look, and again, I love it. The chat is like Wikipedia. If it's up there, I go, oh, that's fact. Yeah, that's fact, because somebody wrote it down, so it must be true. I just trust our listeners that much. I really do. I trust our listeners that much. Nathan says that dude financed the American Revolution. Interesting. I love how much knowledge people have.
So what I hear him saying is the industrial militarized complex was existent back in the...
No, now hold on. Now, wait a minute. The military industrialized complex, that's a great speech from Eisenhower.
Who warned against it.
It's a fantastic... One of the truly amazing speeches from the 20th century. I used to have this great audio record. I bet I got it here somewhere.
But it is with Iowa. We're kind of looking at Iowa, kind of look at Drake, because you have a new roster, you have a new coach with high expectations. You're going to love this. CBSSports.com did day one of college basketball bracketology yesterday, Ross. You're like, oh my God, it's November 3rd and we're doing bracketology already. But
you know why?
Because people will click on it.
Clicks, baby.
Clicks, baby.
Clicks,
you know what I did? I clicked.
WHOTV News 13 is going to repost that today and go, your earliest bracketology. Click here.
And Hawkeye fans are happy because CBSSports.com and their day one bracketology had Iowa in the NCAA tournament.
Oh, thank God. Oh, we made it, everybody.
They're a tournament team, everybody. They're a tournament team.
Well, give Ben McCollum a raise.
He might get one if he makes the NCAA tournament after year one.
Gary Barta was there, he'd have an extension right now.
We are going to give him this much more. Let's give him 10 more years.
Did you see the text that Justin sent us?
No, I tried to read it on my watch, but I couldn't get it.
When it's from it's the clip from Step Brothers where his dad's like he's Will Ferrell's in the back of the car and he's like, who is this new guy you're dating? She's like, he went to John Hopkins. And he goes, I used to smoke pot with Johnny Hopkins. And Justin sent us a text that said, I used to smoke pot with Robert Morris.
If there's one thing Justin's never done, it's smoke pot.
Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Oh.
Do you see Casey? Casey says Lenardi has been doing his bracketology since August.
God.
Dude.
But people click on that stuff because bracketology sells hope for some people.
Oh, great word. That's exactly what it is.
Sells hope.
And again, more important than that, it's clickbait.
100%.
Clickbait. Oh, did our team make it?
Does it unfairly, like with CBS, and I don't know if Lenardi has Iowa in the NCAA tournament or not. We know Iowa State should be in the NCAA tournament. We're not worried about the Cyclones. If they don't make it, something's seriously wrong. Iowa's one of those, okay, are they going to be good enough to get there? Does Ben McCollum have the roster to do it? We believe he does. But much like preseason football polls, does preseason bracketology And take the preseason basketball poll out of it. Bracketology, I think people look at a field of 64 because you don't need to be in the top 25. You need to be one of those top 32 at-large teams. Or does it unfairly set expectations? I mean, everybody should have expectations, right? But does it unfairly...
I don't think it carries the same weight, Trav, that those preseason football polls do. I like to. Am I lying to myself here? I like to think that when the committee gets together, that in March, that they actually they've got a lot more sample size there.
Well, and there's a lot more transparency because remember they bring members of the media in, like what is it, a month beforehand to kind of show what they're doing to analyze teams and how they select their fields. So they bring people in to kind of watch. They don't do it the final weekend, but you get an idea of the process. So I think there's a little more transparency behind the field of 64 than there is for the college football playoff poll, which there's almost zero transparency on how that thing's done. Yeah. I think the NCAA, and again, it's not all NCAA bad, right? I mean, it's easy. It's kind of like an R and a D. You don't have to say everything the NCAA did is bad because they have said, hey, come watch our process. So you understand what we're thinking, and you're able to ask questions. You don't get to participate in it, but you get to ask questions and go, oh, this is how it's done. I have a lot more understanding. Kind of like with me with the not behind the point spread. That's a different podcast I do, but Make the Right Calls podcast, which is exclusively for officials, basketball officials. You spend time with these officials and you ask questions. You're like, oh, I have a lot more empathy and understanding of a basketball official now than just going, oh, you suck. You suck. You're like, there's a lot more involved here than what you realize, and they give you things of why they screw up, and when you learn about angles on the court, and they're like, you'd be surprised if you're in a wrong angle, we're gonna miss a call because we don't see it, and just because we're watching on television, you have a wide open angle. If the official who's supposed to make the call is a half a foot to the left or right, you may miss the entire call. Yeah. I mean, so there's things that play a factor in that. I just have more empathy, should I say, for basketball officials than probably most do, just because I've spent a lot of time with them lately. But yeah, so Iowa opens up with the Robert Morris tonight. Is that game on TV? I don't even know if that game's on TV.
Oh, dude, I'm not there right now. Hold on. Let me see if I can get to Iowa real quick.
I hope it's not on an ESPN family because I won't be able to watch it because it's not on my YouTube TV.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, Big Ten Network, buddy.
Oh, I've got the Big Ten Network.
There you go.
Yeah.
7:30 live from Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa.
7:30 is going to be tough for me.
You are looking live.
Last night, my watch says I went to bed, I fell asleep at 7:49 last night.
By that point, I was laying in bed. Audrey and I, we got home from a Costco run. We had dinner at Costco. Had a chicken bake last night for dinner.
A chicken bake?
You ever had a chicken bake from Costco?
I believe I have. My wife made tilapia last night. We had tilapia in the house.
You win.
And then she took some red potatoes, and she just threw red onions on top and sprinkled it with blue cheese and baked those. It was really... So we had tilapia... And just kind of like this potato bake that was a nice accompaniment to the fish.
You are such a cake eater. It's unfreaking.
What do you mean
real,
I'm a
man.
cake eater?
Driving around in your Land Rover.
First of all, I don't drive the Land Rover. My wife drives the Land Rover.
Eating your tilapia with red potatoes and blue cheese. I had a $3.49 chicken bake from Costco that I split with my daughter.
How does that make me a cake eater?
Pretty clear. I think I laid it out pretty clear there.
See, you're doing exactly what I knew people would do if you buy a Land Rover. And I have no regrets of buying the Land Rover.
I think you shouldn't have any regrets for buying that. I think about it a lot. I really do. I'm driving down the road now and I see it. Like even I see car commercials. My Jeep was in, you know this, my Jeep was in, it has been in Willis, and we'll be there for a little bit. They're fixing something in the transfer case for me. But when I first took it in, they were like, dude, it was making this weird ticking noise, and they were like, it could be an axle or a tie rod now. And so I did have this thing going in my head, like, all right, time to be looking for a new vehicle here. Gonna have to drop some coin on a new vehicle. But I'm looking at, like, is there a Toyota I could get my hands on? Is there someday, dude? Someday I'm gonna save. I'm gonna.
But why is it like, I have the Land Rover and people are like, oh, but if I were to drive a Tahoe or a Suburban, which cost just as much.
You're right.
But nobody blinks an eye if you drive a Chevy Tahoe or a Chevy Suburban. They're like, oh, you got a Suburban. You like those big cars.
True story. It's because we're brainwashed. It's because as kids, we all got ideas injected into our brain. I had a conversation at Willis the other day with one of the guys that was like, yeah, he goes, man, I was an American car kid my whole life. And then one day I went to my dad's house and he had a Toyota, or his grandpa. And he's like, Grandpa, you have a Toyota? And his grandpa's like, yeah. Yeah, it's a reliable car that was affordable and does a great job. Dude, you've been in Europe enough to know that in Europe, they don't have American cars.
Yeah, if you might see like a Ford Escort or something like that every once in a while.
Every now and again, you've got somebody that has a construction company or it has to haul stuff, so they've got a big F-150 or a Chevy Silverado. I've never seen a pickup in Italy, oh, really?
Ever.
I did in Ireland.
Okay.
We saw, because Patrick even said to us, you will not see an American car. And when he said that to us, there was a Chevy in front of us, or a Ford in front of us. I'm like, oh,
right there. Yeah, in Italy, of course, Fiat is big, and surprisingly enough, the Alfa Romeo is big, right? And here, you hear Alfa Romeo, you're like, oh, you're driving an Alfa Romeo. Over there, it's like, it's an Alfa Romeo. Who cares?
It's like a Toyota.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, even my wife got it. She drove the Land Rover Defender from Willis Automotive to school the other day, and she got there the next day, and the principal was like, "We were wondering who was driving that car."
It's a beautiful car, dude. It's freaking awesome. But then when you took it on that track, oh my God, I can't get over that. Cool
I'm telling you, I know Bobby would never want to do this. But I think they should have a track day just for everybody could go to.
I think the fear with that, Travis, would be that you'd show enough idiots where that track
That's
is.
True.
And some other jerk would try to take his Saturn over the top of it, and they'd have to get a tow truck out there to clean up the track.
Which happened.
That happened. That actually happened. Some guy in the middle of the night tried to take his car. Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Destroy your vehicle. Literally, you'll destroy your vehicle, and it'll cost you thousands of dollars.
First of all, you're committing a crime by doing that.
Yeah.
And then second of all, you're going to have to fix your car because there's only a handful of cars that can actually do the track.
Yeah. Then they say Land Rover.
Yeah. Fair enough. 515-517-2303. Don't forget to pump it up with Unleaded 88. It's grown by corn farmers right here in the state of Iowa, so pump it up with Unleaded 88. Go to iowacorn.org for more. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. For the holidays, bring real taste to the table with Gold Peak Real Brewed Tea. Made with real tea leaves and real cane sugar, Gold Peak delivers a golden, brewed for taste flavor that makes every moment more meaningful. Whether you're gathering with family or friends, celebrate the moments that matter the most because real connections deserve real refreshment. For your upcoming holiday celebrations, choose Gold Peak Tea and bring real taste to the table.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
It's October at Willis Nissan, and the savings this month are scary good. Lease the stylish Nissan Sentra or the versatile Nissan Kicks for payments so low We call them fun size. And that's not the only trick up our sleeves this month. Right now, you can get 0% APR on Murano and Pathfinder, or take advantage of customer cash. All those treats, and we won't even make you tell us a joke. Visit us online at willisnissan.com or stop into our showroom today.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Now's the perfect time to find the ring. We've just brought in a fresh wave of gorgeous engagement rings. So whether you're into sleek and modern or something a little more romantic, we've got you covered. And if nothing feels quite right, let's custom design it together. You won't find a more passionate or skilled team to help you create a ring that's as unique as your love story. Come see us in Ankeny and let's make the magic happen. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Hi, I'm Sean, Service Manager here at Mini of Des Moines. The holiday season is just around the corner, and now's a great time for you to make sure your Mini is ready for any holiday plans you have. Visit us now to take advantage of our $100 mail-in rebate on the purchase of 4 select tires. Visit us online or give us a call to schedule your appointment.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Heading to the big game this weekend in Iowa City as the Hawkeyes take on number 6 Oregon. Swing by Central City Liquors to fill up your tailgate. More than 165 single malts, 130 tequilas, and 50-plus bourbons on hand. They also stock mixers, wine, spirits, beer, seltzers, everything you need. Central City Liquors at 1460 2nd Avenue in Des Moines. Before we move on to some college football talk, I do want to mention that the Iowa State women got a win over St. Thomas yesterday, 85-36. Easy win for the Cyclones. Audie Crooks had 20. The big number really for the Cyclones, holding St. Thomas at 25% shooting and 10% shooting from the three-point line. And the Iowa women, in front of a sellout crowd at Carver Hawkeye Arena, beat Southern by a score of 86-51. Hannah Stolke with 20 points and Ava Hayden with 21 points, 11 rebounds, as the Hawks improved to 1-0 to start the season off. So, Ross, of course, Iowa's playing Oregon this weekend at Kinnick Stadium, a 2:30 game. Don't forget about the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Right after the game, for about 2 hours, we'll be taking your phone calls and comments on this game. And I'm going to ask you this question, and I don't know if you'll be able to come with it off the top of your head or not. Biggest game at Kinnick Stadium since? Biggest game at Kinnick Stadium since?
The Connor Stallions Michigan game. That's just the first one that comes. That's just the first one that pops into my head. I would love, because this is one of those situations, Trav. You and I admit this often. There are fans that are way better at this stuff than we are.
And remembering stuff.
Yeah, remembering these history moments and remembering the feelings before games or the feelings around games. So I'd love to get some other people's opinions on this. That's literally the very first one that came to my mind, and I could easily be swayed away from that. Biggest game at Kinnick since
Penn State, ranked number 4 in the country in 2021.
See,
and Flagger even just said Penn State in 21.
There you go. And Flagger's a guy that I would trust with that. He's one of those guys that's really good with that, remembering the history of that stuff. It's all that clean living he's done. He's got a great memory. The Nathan wrote in 2006 Ohio State. See, now honestly, Nathan, you're going back far enough. I'd have to Google that and look it up. And I think what you're talking about, Travis, is like from hype before the importance of that game for the season.
Yes. I believe this is the 7th or 8th top 10 team the Hawkeyes have hosted at Kinnick Stadium since 2016. Wow. So anytime you get a top 10 team that comes to your stadium, that's a big game.
Yeah.
Remember, Indiana wasn't in the top 10 yet before they came to Iowa City this year. I think they got in the top 10 after that win. And I'm trying to remember the night they kicked the shit out of Ohio State.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
was
I
that
think
that 2006 Ohio State. Is that
because we were still doing sound off at that point.
Yeah.
We were doing sound. I would say this: anytime Michigan, Penn State, or Ohio State comes to Kinnick Stadium, it's a big game. And to me, this is Oregon's first trip to Kinnick Stadium since 1989, if I'm correct on that. And the Ducks are ranked number 6 in the AP poll. And what's different about this is that Iowa needs a lot of things to happen, but they're still in that college football playoff mix. That's what adds to the drama of this. I mean, if Iowa beats Oregon, it's going to help its case out a lot.
Oh, man.
A lot. But there's no guarantees because Iowa hasn't beaten a ranked team in a long time. I mean, and that's always been the knock on Iowa. Sure, you can put 9-win seasons together, but if you're not beating ranked teams, what does it really mean? You beat teams that were similar to you.
This is a really fun question, Travis, to let my brain kind of bounce around with about when was the last what was the last big one? What if we go back to the undefeated season? And there were, because every game.
Well, they lost 2 games that year, but I know what you mean.
I'm sorry, the undefeated regular season. You're right.
I know I'm a dick that way, but it's
you're
like.
Right. You're right. It's silly for Hawkeye fans to say the undefeated season when you lost 2 games. The season record has 2 losses on it. You're right. That undefeated regular season. Those games mattered, man. Those games, every one of those games, I remember beating Northwestern and beating Wisconsin or Minnesota, and those were like pivotal moments of oh my God, this magical thing could happen this year. David's right. I mean, when you talk about the greatest games in Kinnick Stadium history, the Iowa-Michigan game in '85, 1 versus 2, it's going to be nearly impossible to reach that.
Yeah, that's
one
as he says. That's the litmus test.
Yeah. That's number 1 with a bullet.
Yes.
And I think you could have a real conversation just right behind that of what would be number 2 in your world. Boy. Yeah, there have been a lot. It unfortunately has been a long time. It feels like since. I mean, when Iowa beat Penn State earlier this year, that Penn State had fallen off.
Yeah. It means less. Even though it was a good win, you're excited you beat a program. Because Penn State still has the name behind it to where the name means something. I mean, when you beat, and people are going to go, here he goes again. When you beat Nebraska in like 2000, even though Nebraska had fallen off after 2004, they still kind of held that it meant something. It doesn't mean as much today when you beat Nebraska because they've fallen off over the last 25 years. But there was a time in that little intermittent where it meant something.
Dude, David Bellis, what a great memory, David. What a great memory. First, it starts with this. The goalpost in the south end zones back in '85, and then he followed it up with this. I was
it should say
19-year-old. Yeah, as a 19-year-old, I rode that goalpost through the south end zone. What a memory! That is super
Yeah, I mean,
cool.
I think we all agree the biggest game at Kinnick Stadium ever is Michigan-Iowa 85.
Got to be. That's got to be.
And the way it ended. I mean,
but I love that question. This is the biggest game in Kinnick Stadium since. What's the last one that you want to point to that was bigger than this? And maybe I'm even misremembering that Michigan game, that Connor Stallions Michigan game. That was the first game I took Eli to. Big thanks to Bill Blank, by the way, who gave me those front row north end zone tickets to take my son, and we had an amazing memory that day. And it was stolen from us by some. That's a good question, man.
But Michigan wasn't Michigan. They were still 2 years away from that. I mean, they were. Was that the year that Jim Harbaugh took the pay cut, or was it the year before that where they?
That was the year
they were good, but they weren't great.
They got really good. That was the year they got really good.
Okay.
Man, that's a good one, Trav. Fun question, and I think that the point of the conversation is. This is a huge game. We don't get these very often in Iowa. We don't get these very often at Kinnick Stadium where you've got a game that can really swing the tide of the season. And I think that's what this is. I don't think we're overstating it, that if the Hawkeyes win this game, they are vaulted into that top 25. They don't just creep into the top 25 with the win over Oregon. You've had some national pundits start to point out that this Hawkeye resume is really good. It's really good. You've had two really close losses, and one of them is to the number 2 team in the country. The other one's to your in-state rival, and you lost on a 60-yard field goal. So people are starting to pay attention that this team has a really good resume. It's not great. It's not great yet because your best win is against Penn State.
Yeah, you don't have a signature win yet.
You're right.
And this is the chance for the signature win. And the reason I bring this up is the college football playoff poll, number 1, comes out tonight. And it'll be interesting to see if the college football playoff committee has Iowa in the top 25. The AP does not. The coaches do. So where Iowa falls tonight adds, if they're outside that top 25, it maybe changes the dynamic a little. If they're in that top 25, I think this is one of those, okay, you can really catapult yourself with a win over Oregon because it's going to take some work, even if they finish 10-2. And there's a lot of football to be played with. You got to play Oregon, you got to play USC, you got to play Michigan State, you got to play Nebraska. And you 2 of those are on the road. You got to go to USC. That's not going to be easy. You got to go to Nebraska. Nebraska's not great, but playing on the road is never easy. And look at those games between those teams the last several years. They're close games. I mean, it's not like they're blowouts. So I have no reason not to expect another close game this year. But you sit there and go, okay, it's all about positioning at this point and how fast and how far can you move up? Because you look at where the Big Ten is now. Ohio State and Indiana are going to be 1 and 2 tonight. I really believe that. And it could be Indiana number 1, could be Ohio State number 1. But those teams are
Ohio State. Indiana.
I do too. I do too. But I'm just throwing that out there that those two are going to be 1 and 2. Oregon most likely would be in the top 10. I don't know if they'll have that number 6 spot what they have in the AP poll. But Ross, if Iowa were to beat Oregon, you really have to sit there and go, is the Big Ten going to get 3 teams in? I don't think they're going to get 4 teams in the college football playoff. You have to start evaluating and go, are they going to get 3 teams in? And who would that third team be?
I mean, it's Oregon, USC,
Iowa. Or Iowa. Yes.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
Yeah. Boy.
Can you imagine if the Big Ten didn't get 3 teams in? I mean, for all the chest pumping the Big Ten does and the SEC trying to hold court over this and holding a bigger expansion hostage, because they all want 4 teams guaranteed. They want 4, and this is a perfect example. If you don't deserve 4 teams, you don't get 4 teams in.
Right.
That's why I don't want any guarantees on this stuff.
We are skipping past Michigan and Washington. You know, there's a possibility. Those
possibility.
There's a possibility there, and I haven't looked at their schedules to see what's coming up and who they've got.
Well, Michigan's going to have Ohio State coming up.
Okay,
so,
well, then there goes that.
Yeah.
Because Ohio State's super duper good. I think they are. You know, next week against USC is going to be a big one too, man. If that could be a determining game for that that third or fourth slot. Again, we've said this 1,000 times. If Iowa loses on Saturday to Oregon, it's all for naught. You're not getting in with 3 losses. Not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And I don't think you deserve to be in with 3 losses. No matter who those 3 losses are to, there's so many undefeated teams. What are there, 4 or 5 undefeated teams in the country still? You've got Ohio State.
I thought BYU was the only one left. Or no, you're right, 4 or 5. I think BYU, Ohio State, Indiana.
A&M. There's
and
your 4.
A&M.
They're your 4. And BYU's ranked 8th. Undefeated, ranked 8th.
So Washington has Purdue coming up. That's on the 15th. They're off this week. No, I'm sorry. They have Wisconsin this week. They have Purdue. They have Purdue next week.
Win.
At UCLA.
Win. Yeah, I'm with. That's why I kind of turned my lip up a little bit when I say it. Oh, maybe.
And then end the season at home against Oregon.
Oh.
Yeah. So Oregon's got a tough road ahead. Michigan has Northwestern, Maryland, and Ohio State. They should go 2-1 there. They're not going to beat Ohio State. I don't think so. USC, which got a much-needed win over Nebraska last week, has Northwestern at home, Iowa at home, at Oregon, and then ends the season against USC.
Okay.
I don't think USC goes 4-0 here.
I don't think so either with that. Man. It does. It's cool that the Big Ten has 1 and 2.
It is.
There's a big drop-off after that.
Big drop-off.
And I mean, honestly, if Oregon is able, if Oregon does beat Iowa, then there's not that big of a drop-off. They stay at 8-1. If you looked at Oregon's schedule here, I'll pull it up right now. So they've got Iowa, Minnesota, USC, and at Washington. You know, that's not a cakewalk. Yeah,
you get 3 of the 4 are going to be tough,
right?
Because I believe Iowa's going to get. I'm not saying Iowa's going to beat Oregon this weekend.
No.
I'm not going to go out on that big of a limb. I think it's going to be a good game.
Hopefully, it's a really good game.
Yeah.
And the Hawkeyes come away with the W. But man, Oregon's fast and they're good. Yeah, this is why it's fun to watch this thing shake out in these last couple of weeks. And the college football playoff poll is going to be interesting tonight. I did see somebody, I think it was Flag, said earlier, like, hey, Hawkeyes are going to be in that college football playoff poll because this committee's paying attention. This committee is really diving into resumes and looking at stuff. I think there's some truth to that.
But what's the resume? I'm just asking, what's the resume?
I think there's truth to the fact that the committee dives into the resumes and will be more analytical than just reactive to previous polls, because the AP poll is reactive to the previous week's poll. That's why we bitched about the preseason polls and how much weight that they have.
If they're not in the top 25, what's that tell you?
That the committee sees 25 other teams that are more deserving.
Yeah,
that's all it tells me. It that the committee looked at it and said, you got to do more. You can't, and quite frankly, I don't mean this as a knock against Iowa State, but it's the fact you can't have lost to Iowa State, who's now in the bottom half of the Big 12. That looks like a bad loss. We know it's not. We know that Iowa State at that time was a really good football team, that's a tough football game every year. It was in Jack Trice Stadium. It was about time one of those home teams won one of those games.
Yeah, no kidding.
And it was a last-second 64-yard field goal, or what was it, 66-yard?
Pretty soon with you, it's going to be 80. It's gotten longer every time.
He hit a 93-yard field goal to beat the Hawkeyes, and with no time left on the clock. That's like the Coming to America when you know how old Joe Louis was when he fought that fight? 173 years old. Yeah, every time it's going to get longer and longer.
Which is great because it just adds to the lore of the game. It's like, it keeps getting better in our minds.
Again, what the Hawkeyes have to do is win. And if they win, then it will vault them into that conversation. And by the way, I don't necessarily know that being a 2-loss Iowa team, even if you beat Oregon, even with the win against USC, is there a chance that team still falls outside of that college football playoff? There is.
Absolutely
there is. And so it doesn't guarantee anything, but you guarantee yourself not to be in the conversation with any loss going forward.
Yes. And that's kind of what we've been saying. You have, and that's why we say you're going to need some luck. You're going to need some people who really believe in you, but you need to get some signature wins. And you have 2 straight weeks of a possibility of signature wins at home against Oregon, and then going on the road to USC. That Michigan State would not be a signature win. Winning at Nebraska would not be a signature win. It's nice to beat Nebraska, but it's not a signature win. You have 2 weeks here that are going to really determine. Well, you got 4 weeks. I mean, you still got to win against Michigan State. You still got to beat Nebraska.
Yep.
But if you want to move the needle, you've got to beat Oregon. You've got to beat USC.
Yeah. Austin just said it. Winning out gives you those signature wins. Beating
100%.
Oregon and beating USC at USC, those are big games. Big wins.
And you're talking about 2 high-powered offenses. I mean, we talk about the Iowa defense and how good it is. This defense is going to be tested a lot over the next 2 weeks. A lot. You're going to see tremendous athletes, tremendous speed.
Only one 3-loss team is still ranked in the top 25. Do you know who that is? Tennessee. And Tennessee's losses are to Georgia, Bama, and Oklahoma. So you can't be a 3-loss team and survive in this current world, no matter who your losses are to, even if it's to Indiana.
Yeah, where's Tennessee ranked right now in the AP poll? Is it like 17?
Hold on. I said 17. I think that's a lie. Yeah, they're way lower than that. 23rd in the AP.
And think about it. You said Bama, Georgia, and Oklahoma.
All teams that are ranked in the top 11. Bama's 4th, Georgia's 5th, Oklahoma's 11th.
And you know what Tennessee fans don't? They don't care.
No.
I guarantee their fans are like, fire him. We've lost 3 games. We're not living. Okay, look who you lost to.
Doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Meatballs?
I believe so. Yeah, Bill Murray and Meatballs.
God, what a great speech. Yeah. And it still won't matter because all the really good-looking girls will still date the guys from the other camp. What a great speech. And I guess that was like a one of those off-the-cuff, you know what I mean? Like they gave him a loose...
And he just ran with it?
And he just ran with it. Yeah.
I wonder how many...
Have you seen the John Candy documentary yet?
My wife has watched it. I haven't. I heard it's really good.
Everybody has said, man, you got to watch that. It's super good. Most of my buddies that are comedians have said, you got to watch this thing. It's super good. And I need to do that.
Is it a sad story too, I think? I mean, there was yeah.
It's the name of it is I Like Me, and which is the line from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Remember when he's given the very emotional speech at the end of, "You don't have to like me. I like me."
I used to when I was on KNOD in Harlan. He had the John Candy radio show. Radio Candy is what it was called.
Oh, really?
And Ross, this is classic. You would get a delivery like because I'd play it on like Saturday or Sunday nights, and the entire show was like a 2-hour show, but it would come on
reel to reel.
233s.
No way.
Oh yeah, I would play the show on records.
Holy
that's
cow.
how the show came, and just to print vinyl like that quickly and get that turned around.
I would have my first days in radio, it was reel to reel. That was how things got delivered. And then we did have times where cassette tapes got delivered, and you had to dub in cassette tapes into digital. Man, I remember I used to have to dub this show in for WHO called Through the Bible with Les Feldick.
Through the Bible?
Through the Bible with Les Feldick. He was a really fascinating story of that guy's life. Why am I drawing a blank here? Because it would come. I did that from the time it was reel to reel to where we got cassette tape, and then I think it ended up showing up on CD before eventually it was digitized, and we could just download it and upload it into the. And boy, those were big days when you could all of a sudden hit a button and walk away from a studio and go, "It's done." It's done. My 2 hours of sitting in there listening to that guy, I don't have to do that anymore.
You were getting proselytized and didn't even know it. You're like,
I did patch cords when I worked at 1350 KRNT. I ran the Chicago Cubs baseball games. That was my very first job in radio. Yeah. Yeah, I literally got my job in radio because I loved baseball, and I was the only kid that could sit in a dark room all summer and listen to baseball.
And there are certain, and you realize it now, because nobody, at first when you get in, you're like, yeah, I'll do this. Then you realize, oh, why can't they find somebody to do this? Then about in a season in, you're like, this sucks.
A season. About 2 weeks in, you're like, oh, I get it. I get it. But that saved, that opened so many doors for me, Trav.
It did.
Because what I got to do being in the building, and thank God the Cubs still played day baseball all the time, because what I got to do was then walk around the building and learn different skills and learn what different people in the building were doing, find out what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, jobs that I thought I was good at or things that people told me I was good at. And then that opened up the door for me to be a producer at WHO for a long time, which then, like, man, God had a plan, and I'm glad it all laid out the way it did, because what an awesome experience it was.
You know what we forgot to celebrate last week was your 1-year anniversary of getting fired for the second time.
What day did that happen?
I believe it was October 27th. I was in Savannah, Georgia, when you called me, and you're like, dude, they just fired me. I believe it was October 27th, 2024, okay. You got fired. And
I don't remember the second one nearly as well as I remember the first one.
And then we started plotting. And then we were like, okay, what are we going to do? And I said, just give me some time. Give me some time. I'm coming on with you. I'm not going to abandon you, but you got to give me some time. And you were patient with me.
I tried to be.
You're like, okay, I get a severance still here. If you haven't made up your mind by then, you're out.
Oh.
But you know what? It's all worked out.
Just
it's
like
all worked out.
It all worked out. And I honestly don't even you could have told me a lot of different dates there, Trav. I don't remember. The first one I remember, January 14th, 2020. I remember that one. I also remember when I got fired the second time 5 years later, they read the same script to me.
Ross, we need to have a conversation with you.
iHeartMedia is a 21st century media company that is advancing into the future,
but cares about people in no way whatsoever. We say we add value to our clients, but we really don't. We say we value people, but we really don't. We are really just trying to climb out of a mountain of debt that our CEO has gotten into. And to climb out of that mountain of debt, we have to cut your $12 an hour salary.
Yeah.
That's
how we're going to save $8 billion is by firing you who makes 40. Not billion.
That's why we're glad to have Justin back helping and coming up a little bit later on the social media channels. Justin will have some stuff up, but they came crawling back to him, wanted him to go back. And he's like, I want to work with you too. And we thank Justin for that. So, show's done, folks. Thanks for listening today. We appreciate it. We're back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Spread the word. Tell people to listen to us. Find us at therushladio.com. Find us on the YouTube channel. Follow us on our social media channels. Enjoy your day. Go vote if you know what the hell you're voting about. If you know what you're voting about, according to Ross. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hi, Nate Shoesmith with Willis Cadillac. I'm the newest addition to the team. Wanted to introduce myself and let you guys know what awesome deals we have on our EVs today. This month we have 2.9% up to 60 months on our Cadillac Optiq, Lyriq, and Vistiq. For all you Escalade fans out there, we are happy to have 3 in stock right now available. We also have this beautiful blue 2026 CT5V, new for the year color. If you'd like to schedule a test drive, visit us at williscadillac.com or visit our showroom today.
'Tis the season to share great taste. Grab a refreshing Coca-Cola and make every moment a celebration. Locally made, nationally loved, Coca-Cola is the real deal when it comes to holiday cheer. Whether you're kicking back after the game or hosting the crew, nothing hits like that crisp, fizzy taste. Make this season yours. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola today.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.